I didn't plan to get pregnant when I was 19. It just sort of happened. I mean, I had in my mind been thinking I wanted to get away from my crazy family. A mother who was a drinker and a father who was sexually abusive. But I didn't know, well, none of us knew he was going to die when I was 18. And then I was off to college, and with all this freedom and, I didn't know what to do. I was like a ship without a rudder. So 19, I moved to downtown York. Woo, woo, woo! And, I'd grown up in Pittsburgh. I'd lived in other countries. I was this privileged white girl, and now all of a sudden I'm living in a dump with a husband who didn't want to go to work, and I'm pregnant. And, I didn't know anything about being a mother, a wife, how to manage a house, And this was during the race riots, right? So all I knew is I had $75 a month or a week, and that was how much I had for groceries and anything else. So I went to the library. This is before the internet. I got books out on how to cook. I got books out on how to buy groceries, how to clean a house. I mean, I really knew nothing. And I certainly didn't know how to take care of a baby. York, one of the hardest things was making friends here, And I remember when I was 6 months pregnant, I thought, I'm going to have a party. So here I am, pregnant, gray sweatshirt, and I thought, I'll be an elephant. Now, if any of you remember the old hair dryers that you'd stick on your head, and then it had a hose that connected to the power, and it would blow up, and so I took that hose, tied it around my head, and welcome to the party. Well, it was York. Nobody came to the party in a costume except for me, And eventually I got to know weird people like me, and I started feeling at home. But I did have this problem with this husband who didn't want to go to work, and always more duties as assigned. I was not only now the mother, the homemaker, he was fired from so many jobs that I was now the breadwinner. And finally, I decided I am going to go back to college. When the kids were finally in elementary school, I'm going to go back to college. I'm going to do something with my life, and it's not going to be this. So I went back, and even if it was at 2:00 at night, I was just so excited to read and to learn and to use my brain again. And it took me 11 years from the time I started, but I finally graduated from York College, and I was so proud. I had a big party, yay! And then at the end, I went to bed, and I laid in bed for like a week. But I got my first job at York Hospital. I ended up working as a recreation therapist on the psychiatric units. I knew a lot about that. And, and I was able to take my life experiences and the challenges I'd had and turn them around, And my husband, his secretary ran off with him. And I had a party for her. I was, blowing his, So, but eventually I married this wonderful man, have had a great life, 26 years. He's been just a gem. And now I have this grandson, and he's graduating in 3 weeks from York College. His mother went there, she's a nurse, and she did like me. She made a bad decision, but she left him. And he said, my roommates are partiers. That's all they do. They party, they steal, they do things. He said, they're spoiled rich kids. They don't know what it's like to have problems. And he said, I do, and that's not the life I want. And I thought, wow. And, and it made me realize, those times that I took on those extra duties, those times that I kept struggling, they made me stronger. They made him stronger. They made his mother stronger. And I often think of this fable about the old lady who, at the end of her journey, she goes to the tree of life. And the caretaker says, go, you can take whatever you want from the tree and leave your burden there. And she goes around and she looks and she thinks about all the different things that she could take. And then she grabs that which she had carried with her, and she walks away much wiser.